Hey there, and welcome. Today, we are diving into something we all do, literally every single day, and usually without even thinking about it: making a plan. Now, it sounds simple, right? But what's actually happening in your head? Well, it's a puzzle of unbelievable complexity.
I mean, really, have you ever just stopped and wondered about that? You're planning your commute, or a big project, or even just what to have for dinner, and there's this incredible storm of activity happening between your ears. So what is your brain actually doing in that moment?
And this is wild. It turns out your brain is solving a problem that would give a supercomputer a run for its money. Seriously. The whole process of peering into the future, weighing all these different options, and then picking a path forward, that is a massive computational feat. So massive, in fact, we're still trying to get AI to do it just right.
Okay, so let's get into it. A really cool way to understand how our own brains pull this off is to look at how we build planning machines. Artificial intelligence. The design choices we have to make for an AI give us some amazing clues about the very same challenges our own minds have to solve every day.
So, when you're building a planner, the very first question you have to answer is what kind of model it's going to use. Is it going to be deterministic, where A always leads to B? Think of a chess move, it's predictable. Or is it going to be stochastic, which is all about handling uncertainty? That's way more like trying to predict the weather, where you're not dealing with certainties, you're just dealing with probabilities.
So, which one is our brain? Well, it turns out we're pretty flexible. We are absolutely capable of dealing with the messy, unpredictable world of stochastic models. But, and this is the key, if the task allows for it, our brain defaults to the simpler, deterministic approach. Why? To save a whole lot of precious mental energy.
All right, the next big fork in the road is the search strategy. How does the planner find the best way forward? Does it use a serial search, where it looks at one option at a time, kind of step by step? Or does it use a simultaneous search, where it evaluates all the possible options at the exact same time, like a supercomputer just crunching every number at once?
So how does all this AI stuff help us understand what's going on in our own heads? Well, now that we have that basic blueprint, we can finally pull back the curtain on our mind's secret strategy for making a plan.
So here's the deal. A ton of evidence from all sorts of research shows our brains follow a very specific pattern. First, its search is focused. It uses mental shortcuts to pretty much ignore all the obviously bad options. Second, it's depth limited. We don't think 50 moves ahead like a chess computer. We're usually just thinking a few steps into the future. And third, it's serial. We actually think about potential plans one by one.
And that right there is the key to the brain's incredible efficiency. Just think about planning a drive across town. You don't mentally map out every single possible street and turn, right? Of course not. You'd be paralyzed. Instead, your brain instantly takes shortcuts. It focuses on the main roads and completely rules out the ridiculous detours. It's all about those smart shortcuts. But how do all these pieces, the focusing, the looking ahead, the one-by-one evaluation, how does it all connect inside our heads? Well, scientists have actually put together cognitive models that work like a kind of inner flow chart, mapping out how information flows when we're building a plan.
Yeah, I know. At first glance, this looks just unbelievably complicated, doesn't it? You've got all these boxes and arrows flying around, monitoring, forecasting, mental models. It just shows you how many little processes are firing at once. But don't worry, we can actually boil this down to something much simpler.
In fact, we can distill that whole crazy diagram into a pretty straightforward four-step loop. First, you scan and monitor what's going on around you. Next, your brain digs up relevant memories and past experiences. Then, and this part is absolutely crucial, you identify the critical causes at play. And finally, you use all that info to forecast what might happen and then decide what to do.
Okay, so what in the world are these critical causes? Well, simply put, they're the one or two key factors in any situation that are going to have the biggest impact on the outcome. Think about it. If you're in a traffic jam, the critical cause isn't the color of the car in front of you, it's the accident 2 miles ahead. It's the one thing that really matters.
And this, right here, is your brain's superpower. It has this incredible ability to just cut through all the noise and zero in on what's actually important. By locking onto those critical causes, we can build a simple but really effective mental model of what's going on and then make a plan, all without getting totally overwhelmed by a million tiny details.
So look, figuring out our brain's internal planning algorithm isn't just some fun thought experiment. It has real-world consequences for how we can all plan a little better and think a little smarter in our own lives. And the research points to something really, really important about this process. It's not an all-or-nothing kind of thing. The quality of our plans actually improves bit by bit, incrementally, the more time we give ourselves to think them through.
And that's the big takeaway for all of us. The brain's planning process isn't instant. It's iterative. It refines and improves its ideas over time. This is exactly why rushing a decision or trying to cram at the last minute so often leads to bad outcomes. When you give yourself that extra moment to just think, you're letting this incredible internal process actually do its job right.
So, when you put it all side by side, this fascinating picture emerges. An AI planner might be built to calculate every single possibility all at once, but the human brain, it's a master of efficiency. It's flexible, it takes these brilliant shortcuts, and it improves its plans over time. It's a totally different, but still remarkably powerful kind of intelligence.
And that kind of leaves us with this one last fascinating question to chew on. As we build AIs that get better and better at planning, maybe even better than us in some ways, what are they going to teach us about our own blind spots? And maybe more importantly, what will they show us about the unique, adaptive, and sometimes messy genius of the human mind? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.